We've probably all heard the saying, what you don't know won't hurt you. But in this case, that's simply not true. You will want to go ahead and stay till the end of this video as we're going to go over 2 potentially dangerous and harmful things that could happen to your shop and how you can protect your shop from this. I was reached out to this weekend, not once, but twice, by people who were pretending to be potential customers in my Etsy shop, but were really trying to run a scam. I'm going to show you exactly what those messages look like, and we are going to go over one other scam that you should be aware of as well as an Etsy shop owner. Hi there, Simply Shawna here, and if you are a subscriber and you've been here before, I welcome you back, and if not, we hope you'll join us and become a subscriber today. This channel is all about opening an Etsy shop and creating a 6-figure business where you can make money from home. It's completely repeatable, it's attainable, and I share how I've done it on this channel. Let's jump in and see exactly what the scam looked like. So I got this message over the weekend. I'm going to put it up here for us so you could see it. It started with, "Hi, don't know if your store has products like this or similar." And then she has all of these phrases, and it just looks like the title of someone's listing. So I don't have anything quite like that in my shop, so I knew it wasn't supposed to be a link to somewhere in my shop. I figured she was trying to give me a link to somewhere else on Etsy, another listing she'd seen. Now, this did not alert me as peculiar, as people do things like this quite often. They'll send me a link from something in my shop. It's usually clickable, and it takes me to a listing right in the Etsy platform, one of my listings. Or sometimes they're sending me a link to another shop that has a listing. Maybe they asked that shop owner to make it a little different, and maybe the shop owner said no. So there's elements that they liked about that listing, and now they're asking other shop owners to create the specific design they're looking for. So I sent her a message back that just said, "Hey, thanks so much for reaching out and enjoying our designs, but we don't have anything quite like what I think you're looking for in our shop currently, and the link you sent me is not working, but if you send me a screenshot of what you're looking at, maybe we can add some options to our shop in that theme." And that's when things got weird. So she sent a message back that said, "You just need to unzip and double click on it to see the picture you just sent me," which you do not want to do that. They sent a clickable link that time, and she said, then she gave an excuse. I can't access my computer right now. I'm on vacation. I can't download to my phone. I tried. Please use your computer to open. Includes 8 sets of 8 other products. Sorry for the inconvenience. Now, I realize as a new Etsy shop owner, if you were to get a message like this and you haven't made any sales, or maybe you've only made a couple dozen sales or even a couple hundred sales, it could feel really exciting to have someone reaching out. And it is really exciting to have someone reaching out and wanting to work with you to create designs, especially for something that's looking like it's going to be a group listing, right? So that means that's likely to end you with several sales. So best to be aware that this is a scam. I did a little digging into this. I'm not savvy with the scams. I'm not the one that knows exactly what could happen when you click on one of those links. But when I did a little research on it, it would seem that there is a couple of different things that could happen, one of which something with some kind of software that's able to figure out what your keystrokes are. And that might lead, I'm thinking, to someone being able to figure out what your login information is to your Etsy account. I bet there's a bunch of people watching right now that know exactly what these scams can lead to. If you wouldn't mind giving us some information down in the comments, that would be super helpful for all of us. Now, about 2 hours after I had dealt with this message, I got another message that was almost identical. And I went ahead and didn't even respond to that message. I put it as spam, and I put that first message as spam as well. The second message came from an entirely different username. So I'm assuming it was the same person that was, had a couple different usernames and was trying this scam on a bunch of shops over the weekend. Now, the reason you would want to put it as spam is because you have to respond to customers within 24 hours if you want to keep your star seller badge or to earn a star seller badge. So I am, really on top of that. And I did not want to just ignore that message and then that'd be a strike against me for my star seller badge with responding to customers quickly. But if you mark something as spam, then that does not hurt you. You do not have to respond to that customer, and then you shouldn't get any more messages from that account. Now we're going to jump into another scam that I think is even more involved. And had I not read it on Reddit, which is where I found it, I could see myself clicking on this. So let's jump into that one. But before we do, if you are finding value from this video, if you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button, because that does for my YouTube video in the YouTube algorithm what someone liking or favoriting one of our items does for us on Etsy in the Etsy algorithm. So I have the article here in my hand and I'm going to read bits of it to you. So the author starts by saying the scam works like this. Someone had worked the scam on them, and they shared that if they didn't have a password manager on their account, they might have gotten tricked by it. The buyer messages to say they are interested in a large quantity of products. In her case, they said it was for a birthday party, and they said they wanted 25 of one type of product, and they sent a link to that product. And then they said they wanted 21 of another type of product, and they sent a separate link for that product. Now, this does something to the psyche here. You are immediately excited because you are going to get a large sale. So immediately you're like, oh my gosh, they are wanting a lot of product here. So she confirmed that she had stock in both, and they messaged back and said they had a slight amendment. They wanted to change their order and wanted 25 of one product, and they sent a link to that product. 24 of another product, they sent the link. 13 of another product, sent the link for that, 3 links, and 11 of another product, and sent a 4th link to that specific product in her shop. These are links to products in her shop. Now, they pointed out, and they included a screenshot, that they were seeing there was low stock of some of the products they were wanting. And they were asking if she could double check the availability. And then they wanted her to send them an invoice. Now, here's the scam. So all of the links were tiny URLs. And the way I understand a tiny URL, I've never used one, but the way I understand it is you could take what's a longer, spammier looking link and shorten it and rename it. And one of the links they had provided was a phishing link, which the way I understand a phishing link is a link that directs you somewhere that's malicious, where it might look like something else, and you're going to enter information in because you think that you're re-signing into something, or it's tricking you into giving some information. So 3 of the links were tiny URL and 1 was phishing. The phishing link took her to an Etsy homepage clone. So it looked just like the Etsy homepage. And the link itself looked exactly like an Etsy URL, except a minor difference, but I'll put that right here so you could see it. And of course, that link directs you to sign into your Etsy account as if somehow you got signed out. Now you need to sign back in to continue working in your Etsy shop. So she goes on to say, honestly, this was the closest I've ever come to getting scammed. If it wasn't for the fact that my password manager didn't automatically fill in the password field, I would totally have logged into this fake site because it looked like I was logging into Etsy. The long-winded introduction and the screenshots just added another level of realism. And so they really did lay the groundwork there, that they were asking real questions that customers would really ask, and really laid the groundwork for making you believe that you're going to be, this is a customer that's very interested in buying your products. So now let's talk for a minute about ways to keep your Etsy shop safe and your Etsy account safe. After I'd read this article, it was a few weeks ago, and I actually had it jotted down on my notepad to do a video on it because I thought it was very interesting when I read that article, and I went, duly noted, I won't let that happen to me. And then this weekend when someone, reached out, and that one was a lot easier to spot, but I thought, geez, let me do a video on this and let's spread awareness of this so people, don't get tricked on this. So there are some things that I did right after reading this article a few weeks ago to help protect my Etsy shop. We're going to go over that right now. 5 ways that you can protect your shop. 1, you can enable 2-factor authentication. It's actually one of the very first things I did after reading this article. With 2-factor authentication, you would actually not only need someone's password to gain access to their account, but you would also need one of their devices. Because with 2-factor authentication, you would be sent, when you try to sign into your account, you are then sent a verification code on one of your devices. And you have to then, go in and type in that verification code. Once you set this up in your shop, you're going to be prompted to sign in anytime you're using a new browser, you're signing in on a new browser, or a new device, and or every 30 days. Tip 2 for protecting your Etsy shop account is to protect your password. Passwords are one of the most common ways that hackers actually take over accounts. They do this by exploiting passwords. Now, if you're anything like me, it's really annoying when you're trying to put a password in and they make you put a capital letter and then they make you put 8 characters and then you got to put a number and then you got to put a little character. I find it totally irritating. But these are the things that we need to do in order to make sure that we're having a password that will keep our account safe. Another thing we don't want to do is use the same password for many things. Etsy actually recommends refreshing your password every 6 months. I know, that's not fun. But if we want to keep our accounts protected, this is something that we could do. Tip number 3, to keep your account safe. Make sure that you are getting alerts from Etsy in your emails. You want to be alerted, you want to see that email if you're getting alerted to unusual activity. Tip number 4, and this is the one that kind of was the only one that I was thinking, well, why would they even want access to my account? What are they going to do? Well, they can go into the financial part of your account and change the bank number, the place where your money gets deposited from Etsy. So tip number 4 is to just regularly be checking on your financial information that you have set up in your account. Start heading in there once in a while and making sure that your account number hasn't changed, especially if you've ever clicked on a weird link, which takes us to tip number 5. You're going to want to stay on the Etsy platform when you're communicating with customers. You're going to want to know who you're talking to. Make sure you're not clicking on links that are not associated with Etsy. You're going to want to make sure you're actually on Etsy.com when you're managing your account. Guys, I hope you found so much value from this video. I hope that you keep your account super duper safe. If you have a story for us or another scam that we should be aware of, please let us know down in the comments. That'd be super helpful for everybody. And if you're still here, I know you're waiting for Tucker's tip. So, Tucker, take it away.